I don't
Just a
hate
little
weed,
bit.
but every time I talk about this stuff, people immediately assume that he's never smoked in his life. He's a
Yeah.
fucking loser. I'm just like, well, why can't we have both conversations?
I see normally the other conversation is absolutely not at all. You need to cut it out completely. You've enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but no more. It's like that's the only self-help I see other than
Yes.
like, how do I use weed to make me a better person, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
It's like everybody, it's like the same thing, similar to alcohol, where it's like everybody is either an alcoholic or they just don't face their problem. But it's not true. There's people that can socially drink or like not drink every day and then be okay.
mhm,
Like, I don't know. There's definitely that in weed too. And I think where my gripe was is really the young audience, like the super
mhm.
early adopters, you could say, of
Yeah, yeah,
weed.
yeah.
I just feel
The
like that's
teenagers
been,
onwards.
yeah, because they have access to it more on the black market. Obviously they're not legally going and buying anything, and they don't really know what they're getting into. And that's where
Mm,
I felt like was like sort of the soft spot in my heart to want to talk about these things, is because I've understood over time is that a lot of young people are struggling with some of the things I struggle with as an adult, and some of it's been heightened because of their weed use, and they don't know that, or they do and they don't
yeah.
know how to fix it.
I was actually a high school teacher for about 8 months. I
Really?
burnt out very quickly, and it was really interesting because I taught at a lot of like lower socio schools because I was doing
Yeah.
supply teaching, and it's like fucking you had kids there as young as like 13 using weed, like,
Yeah.
and I'm there just kind of listening and just like hearing a 13, 15-year old just going, I'm going to go back home and like I'm going to go home after school and smoke
Yeah.
some with the boys. And I'm just like, fuck, I wasn't doing that at 15. It just wasn't. I was a nerd. So that
Yeah.
I thought drugs were bad at 15.
Yeah, I
Meanwhile,
know.
now,
I didn't. It's funny. I didn't start smoking weed till I was like 24 or
oh, okay.
25. Yeah,
Yep.
I never smoked weed in college. I think I might have
Yep.
tried it once. I didn't feel anything. And then I even when I first tried weed a few times, I never got high. So I was like, this is,
Yeah. Yep.
I don't see the point in this. Like, I don't feel anything. I don't know why these people all like spending all this time trying to get high. I just go drink instead or something. Um,
Yep.
but I was gonna tell you like about the kid thing. You said 13. The youngest person I heard from was 10, and it was through
Yep.
TikTok. And I was like, wait,
Oh,
what the
wow.
fuck? Like it blew my mind. Yeah, because that's where I first started talking about this, because TikTok was a new platform. And
Mm,
I was like, well, it's kind of a taboo topic. I don't really want to talk about this on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever. And so TikTok was new. I started talking about it and it blew up. And like we had like several videos with multiple million views and
yep.
hundreds of thousands of comments, a lot of them like understanding and saying like, yo, this is so true, like nobody's telling me this or no one's talking about this, why? And
Mm.
a lot of them were also disagreeing with it. They're like, no, that's only you. It's like you can see clearly that that's not just me. you know and it's hard because these young kids can't go to their parents, or they
Mm,
do and they get shut down. So then they're like, where
yep.
do I turn? And now they're talking to some stranger on the internet that's talking about like mental health and anxiety and depression and like too much weed, and they felt like they wanted to share. And that's, I started to make a Discord group where I was like, okay, because we can't talk in the comments, it's like they're limited on like character lengths. And then a bunch of them started pouring in, like over 1,000 of them poured into the Discord, and we were just in there just hearing from people like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with, like I want to take a break, I don't even know how I could do that, like I can't go even a day without it. And this
Mm,
is like a 13, 15, 17-year old, and you're like, wow, that's crazy that someone like that is finding help on the internet through the things that I've been able to put out, not knowing that this is of any value to anyone
mm,
but me, because I was trying to genuinely help myself as well.
mm,
So it's just that's kind of the full circle of like why this became like a whole thing. Because originally, I mean, I've been making content for like 10 plus years about other things and somewhat related to like health in general. But once I got into like the weed culture, I got into it really fucking deep, man. Like I think I did
mm,
more in the short 5 6 years that I was in it, in the valley, because I like learned so much about how the business side of it works and everything else.
mm.
And I really got a strong education behind it. And I also used it and abused it like crazy, because I could had so
Yep.
much access to like the best shit possible. Like all the good shit is coming out of California, and the
Yep.
Bay Area is where some of the best shit is grown.
Mm,
And you got the best of everything happening. So you're just like, I'm
yeah.
just part of it all.
You're
It
just
was
immersed in that culture. It's very
yeah.
hard, I think.